I was called a low energy snooze fest. Were they right? Hey, it's Mike. Thanks for tuning back in. So, normally I do a Attic Find Friday today, but I wasn't feeling great yesterday. I went to the office for work, and mid afternoon, I just started feeling terrible. Awful headache and like this extreme exhaustion. I was asleep by, I don't know, 5:45, 6 o'clock, and I slept for almost 12 hours. So I'm feeling better today, not 100%, but I'm feeling run down. Haven't been sick in 3.5 years. I think I've kind of avoided it thanks to a long night of sleep, but no Attic Find Friday until tomorrow, which is when I'll release it. I do have a mail day, which I'm going to get through quickly here, but I want to talk a little bit about this commenter and how it came to be. So on Tuesday morning, I think, Dan of Dan's Vintage Baseball PC texted a group chat I'm in. Or no, it was Theo, now that I think about it. Clemente Collector Theo texted a group chat I'm in saying, hey, is this you in this thumbnail? And Professor Sports Cards was doing a ranking that night on a live stream of content creators in the sports card hobby space. And I was on the thumbnail, and that was a surprise because it was a bunch of like big YouTubers, and I was by far the smallest of the ones I knew who they were. There were quite a few that I'd never heard of before, never seen, nothing. And so I was like, oh man, what is this going to be? And I was in the F section because he was grading them from S tier, which I'd never heard of before, but apparently S tier is like the best, and then A through F. And on the thumbnail, I was lined up with the F section, and I thought, am I in the F section, or is this just he's got us off to the side? And I decided I was going to tune into the live stream, and it was really, really interesting. Jason, he's keeps things very interesting. He knows how to entertain an audience. He had up to 100 and, I don't know, 135, 150 people in there, which is about as close to the most I've ever had in a live stream. Of course, I haven't done a live stream in about a year now, but yeah, very entertaining live stream. He went for like 2.5 hours, which is definitely longer than I've ever gone on a live stream. But he started off with Chris Sewell and said S tier. Yes, 100% agree. And then he started putting people into F and D tiers, and I'm thinking, oh boy. And pretty early on, he said that he likes me and doesn't know where he's going to put me. And so I thought, this is interesting. He also likes some of these other guys that he's putting in the D tier. And ultimately, of course, Jason would say this is completely meaningless. It's just his opinions. But I think if it were truly meaningless, sports car creators wouldn't have been calling it. And he had Troy of Trike Sports Cards, called in, and I didn't listen. I had it on mute because my wife was trying to go to sleep and I was in bed. And Trike called in, and then Neo called in. I ended up watching Neo. I texted Mike Petty and Orlando of A Collector's Dream, and I said, I don't think I can stay awake for this. You guys are going to have to tell me how this turns out for me. But then my wife fell asleep, and I was like, well, I'll just go out and I'll watch on the living room couch. And Neo called in. I thought Neo was pretty interesting. But ultimately, he ended up getting to me, and he said, I don't remember everything that he said, but he talked about how he liked me, and I somehow inspired him to keep doing content, but he called me, let me think of the words he used. He called me very slow. And he said it several times. I'm very slow. Mike, Junk Wax Hero, is very slow. Actually, funny aside here. When I mentioned Jason, I called him Sports Cards Professor like a month or so ago in a video. And he, in the comments, said, it's Professor Sports Cards, get it right, or something like that. And I think it irked him, which I totally understand why it would, because there is another there's another Sports Cards Professor. And, he did this work and got these YouTubers to mention him. And then I'm an idiot and saying the wrong name. And sending people to the wrong YouTuber. And so then when he came around to talking about my channel, he couldn't remember my channel name. He was like, Junk Wax Museum. Oh, wait a second, that's not right. And he kept trying to come up with my name, and then he finally did, Junk Wax Hero. And I think it was performative to kind of pay me back a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe he truly did forget my channel name. But anyway, either way, it's funny. And so then he keeps calling me slow and doesn't understand the appeal, but he talked about how, my views seem legitimate and my subscribers seem legitimate, and he gave me a B. But the best part was the commenters overwhelmed him, calling me an A YouTuber, and he should have me in the A spot, which was amazing. What a great feeling, because these commenters are brutal. They were like F, F, F for a lot of guys. And, but no, he listened and he moved me up into the A tier when I was deeply flattered by those commenters and by Jason's kind words as well. So a huge, huge thank you to those commenters. I've already thanked several of them either by comment or by text if I have their cell phone number, like Orlando and Mike Petty. But then I went back in the next day just to see what the comments were. Why do I do this to myself? And there was a comment from somebody named Hockey99. I think it was what it was. I'll put it up here. That says, Junk Wax Hero, low energy Snooze-Fest. Yeah, I mean, thanks for watching. You at least know who I am, and that's appreciated. Am I a low energy Snooze-Fest? I guess if you're comparing me to, I don't know, backyard breaks, I am low energy. That's me. I am not somebody who's going to be like, woo, crazy, yelling and screaming and fake. Well, I won't name any YouTubers that any of the bigger YouTubers that I find to be rather fake with their personalities. You can tell because you can go back and look early on and see who is still pretty much the same. My early videos, I was less confident than I am now, but there wasn't a whole lot more personality. Yeah, so I found that really funny. Low energy Snooze-Fest. Thank you to Hockey99. Yeah, let's jump into my mail day for today. I don't know what a bunch of these are. Actually, let's start with this. This is from a commenter who goes by Jumbo Jimbo, and I'm really interested to find out what this is. And sometimes people tell me what they're mailing to me, but I never ever remember. And I've talked about this before because I don't want to get excited about something, and it just leaves my brain. Because a lot of times, very frequently, I end up not getting what somebody says they're mailing to me. Okay. This is from Jumbo Jimbo. And he left me a note. Thanks for the entertaining and informational videos. I tend to like people who actually collect and not ones all about the values. Have these cards sitting around being all lonely. They're nothing of high value, but you may like them. Enjoy. P.S. If you have a hookup at Wicked Whoopie Pies, let me know. I wish I had a hookup at Wicked Whoopie. That is, they're Whoopie Pies. I'm not a big Whoopie Pie guy, but their Whoopie Pies are out of this world. You can buy them online. They don't sponsor me. But you know who does sponsor me? And whose products I'll be using on these cards here? The Penny Sleever. Make sure you use my code JWH2025 for 10% off your first order at the Penny Sleever. And Jumbo Jimbo did not use the Penny Sleever, but that's okay. That's okay. He'll learn. If once he tries them, everybody who tries them says, holy cow, I never knew there could be such a big difference in products, but there is. That's how I felt too. I was like, yeah, you want to send me some product? Fine, but there's no way I am going to find a difference in it, and I did. All right. So Jimbo wrote, look closely. Oh, because he has what appears to be a mega box card in here. We have Von Grissom. Look at that color. Yeah. That's awesome. Vaughn Grissom rookie card. Of course, Grissom now on the Red Sox. I believe he's been playing at AAA for a while now. We have a Don Baylor, and then... Huh. This is really interesting. As you can see, we have a Marty Barrett, 1991 Topps. And here's the front of it. And then we have a Danny Heap, 1990 Topps. Here's the front. I don't know what happened here. I love Cedon Rafaela. Topps Big League rookie. Roman Anthony. And you know, I love Tristan Casas. I don't believe I had this rookie card of his, and I have a lot of his rookie cards. Awesome. Thank you, Jimbo. This is a weird one. So I saw, you have to remember, Zion Williamson, when he came up, his cards were going for thousands and thousands of dollars. Even base PSA 10s were outrageously priced and selling for that much. I'm a huge Zion, not a huge Zion fan. I think Zion is a massive talent who has wasted his career thus far because of his weight and his injuries. And I feel like he's a future Hall of Fame talent who is not on that path because of those injuries, because of his weight problems. And then I saw a picture of him on Wednesday, I think, looking super fit. And I went out and I bought this. His rookie Prism Silver and PSA 9. $60. Why not? Figured that was a decent enough gamble. All right, this one. Red Sox ticket from April 11th, 1998. This is Pedro's first win at Fenway Park. First win as a member of the Red Sox, I believe. So my goal is to get this autographed by him at some point. It's gonna go in my pile of things to get autographed at private signings. I'm not gonna splurge on it right now, but that's my goal. Get it signed and then get it slabbed. This one doesn't quite fit with a sports card mail day, but I know a lot of you like this stuff anyway. As you can see behind me, I like collecting the video games of my childhood. One of the most important games of my childhood, the one I played perhaps more than any other, Street Fighter II on the Super Nintendo. My friend Brian, we were best friends from like 7th through 12th grade. And I would go over to his house. Not a good situation with his father. And we would just hole up in his bedroom. Tiny, tiny little bedroom. And play Super Mario Kart, which I have up there already. Right? I don't. Have I bought Super Mario Kart? I feel like I have. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that now. It's not up there. Maybe I haven't bought it yet. And I thought I did. But Super Mario Kart and then Street Fighter 2. And I still remember a bunch of other games that we played too, like Mana. But these were the two that we just, for years, played from, I don't know when this came out, 1992-ish? 1991. Yeah, that's about that time. And we just played for years. And we would play for hours. We'd play until 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and then we'd sleep for a few hours, and then we'd get up and play some more. And I'd spend 2 or 3 nights in a row there. Yeah, great memories. So that will go up behind there. If you stick around, maybe I'll put a picture up of it up there, put it here at the end of the video. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all soon.